Hello friends, welcome to another episode. Share, like, subscribe, leave a comment to help push these videos forward. Now let's get to it.
Acre does not appear on global seismic maps, yet the ground beneath this region is being disturbed by forces that should not exist there. A new study shows earthquakes emerging from nearly 600 kilometers below the Amazon, far deeper than anything expected inside stable continental crust. These events are strong, reaching magnitude 6 and higher, including a 6.6 recorded in 2024. The simulations trace how the motion rises from the mantle. The disturbance climbs unevenly, splitting into separate pulses as it moves through dense rock. Some of the energy is pushed back into the interior, while the rest continues upward. Even 200 kilometers from the source, the modeled surface lift exceeds 1/10 of a meter, which is unusual for quakes originating at this depth. What is happening above this activity is just as unsettling. Measurements show that Acre's crust has shifted within a short period of time. Local seismic events have grown more frequent since 2010, and the Tarawaka Fault shows movement that does not align with typical continental patterns. There are indications that deeper pressure from the west is influencing the region, but the mechanism remains unclear. The study does not identify what is driving these deep events or why they are increasing. It shows only that significant forces are active far beneath the western Amazon, and that the land above them is beginning to react.
Now, there's a lot of weird anomalies going on around the world today. A lot of weird weather and things like that. My best advice to y'all is to just stay prepared. Have like food in your house just in case, and be ready for what's to come, because 2026, if we going by what went by in 2025, 2024, 2026, you just got to stay ready.
Are there a group of extraterrestrials called the Anunnaki from a planet named Nibiru that come to the Earth every 3,600 years? Well, both mainstream media and NASA are saying Nibiru is real.
Planet 9 is expected to be many times the size of Earth and orbit the Sun far beyond Neptune. The astronomers say that the astronomer is actually the same astronomer who led the campaign to demote Pluto from a planet to a dwarf planet. Now looking to fill that Planet 9 void, the astronomer claims that there's only a 0.4% chance that Planet 9 does not exist, despite it never being seen.
Don't you find it weird that now they're admitting this? I'm pretty sure they knew about this information, but now they're releasing it to the public.
The CIA just got asked if they had any information on the interstellar comet 3i Atlas, and they said we can neither confirm nor deny for a rock from another star system. What? Now this is a real CIA response from December 31st, 2025, to a Freedom of Information Act or a FOIA request by Jonathan Greenwald, a top government transparency expert from the Black Vault. He asked for any CIA assessments, reports, or communications about 3i Atlas, or interstellar object 3i. FOIA lets anyone request government records to promote transparency, but the CIA hit back with the GLOMAR response. And this was named after the Cold War spy ship case. It means they can neither confirm nor deny if the records even exist, citing national security exemptions under Executive Order 13526 and the CIA Act of 1949. They say revealing that could expose intelligence sources and methods for a comet that's not normal, mate. Now, why is this so wild? NASA calls 3i Atlas a natural comet. No big deal. But it's shown weird stuff. A sun-facing anti-tail before and after closest approach to the sun. A rotation axis perfectly aligned towards the sun. An orbit almost exactly matching Earth's plane. Super unlikely for a random interstellar visitor. And a chemical makeup rich in nickel. More like man-made alloys than your scans by Breakthrough Listen found no signals. But that doesn't rule out tech. The CIA secrecy, they use GLOMAR for super sensitive spy stuff, not space rocks. As Harvard professor Avi Loeb says, if 3i Atlas is a comet, why would the CIA neither deny nor confirm the existence of records on it? Something passing through our neighborhood scouting us? Maybe. But in my personal opinion, I don't think this is anything to do with anything negative. Greenwald is appealing this, and experts like Loeb are calling it baffling. This could be nothing or the start of something interstellar. What do you think? Now, between me and you, right, NASA and the CIA have a knack for painting targets on their back. I mean, the presentation that NASA did recently to do with 3i Atlas, that whole thing was an absolute laughable joke, right? And CIA hiding information to do with 3i Atlas and what it could be, I don't know. I mean, I don't believe anything negative is linked with this object itself. I think what it's done is woken people up and has made more people look up to the skies and question more things to do with the universe and the system itself. So, 3i Atlas has done its job. But what do you guys think? What do you think the CIA's got and they're being sus about? You let me know down.
The movies always tell the truth.
Not to interrupt, but he's kind of right there, right? The movies reveal what's going to happen in the future.
What if I told you that there might be some other reasons that we want Greenland? Not just movies. People like George Orwell with 1984, maybe he knew what was going to happen. This look familiar? This is George Orwell's 1984 map. You can see US in the blue and all of what it owns. That seems a little bit too close when we look at the geopolitical landscape right now. And of course you heard about Apophis, which is the god of destruction, they say. And ancient tech from a guy who was right about a whole lot of stuff. And then we start talking about the president's third term. I mean, y'all, this is just outrageous. So let's start right here. There's a movie made that's called Greenland, in which they were the only location that can survive the apocalypse or Apophis, which even ancient manuscripts talk about. And remember, I just showed you yesterday, the president said we'll take Greenland with or without problems.
I would like to make a deal, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way.
Speaking of the hard way, the U.S. State Department just released this video on what it was like to do the Venezuelan raid and about their technology that can make people bleed out their nose, throw up, vomit, and pass out. Which, by the way, is the same exact thing that Venezuelan bodyguards are talking about. You know, the bleeding out of their nose? Really crazy. And coincidentally, at the same time, we not only have a Trump insider talking about he will have a third term despite the 22nd Amendment, they already have a plan, but also, the president said while he was running, my beautiful Christians, vote this one last time, you won't have to do it no more. And then we have this theorist who I believe passed away in 2018, look into it, where he's talking about how Greenland has ancient tech under the ice.
Well, the spacecraft that is anchored in the center of Greenland created the last ice age 50,000 years ago. It's a weather machine. It's 55 miles wide, 300 miles long, and 2 miles high. People that lived in it were called the Mois.
If you know, you know. Greenland, Alaska, a place in Russia. So am I really reaching, or does it really seem pretty planned out? If you think it's reaching, then you are just oblivious, my friend.
Now, that is the chatter on the internet, that this UFO technology in Greenland, it makes you wonder, right? All these places that are covered in ice and cold, there must be secrets under that. And now that the temperature's changing and everything's melting over there, it seems like the United States wants to make moves to take over, and not only take over, but take over that technology. So they must have known it was there the whole time.
Why is it that when people make claims that The Simpsons allegedly predict future events, 9 out of 10 times they come true? And why do I say that? Because there are alleged rumors that are floating all over social media regarding NASA and this thing called Project Anchor. And this Project Anchor allegedly was brought to life in the year 2014. And the reason for the creation of this Project Anchor was all due to a date in the future that they were very, very concerned about. And that date is August 12th, 2026. And what is allegedly to occur on August 12th, 2026?
Not to interrupt again, but what's up with these dates? And these dates come and nothing happens.
Earth is to lose gravity for 7 seconds. I'll repeat, 7 seconds where gravity just comes to a stop. And according to some alleged videos and articles that have been posted all over social media, it is not an explosion. It is not permanent. And it is also not the end of the world. But 7 seconds is long enough to cause a ton of chaos. So basically, the claims are it'll be a temporary gravity collapse that will last long enough to cause chaos, but short enough for Earth to survive. And some of the videos go on to claim, because it's so short, that's the reason why there hasn't been any public warnings issued. And others are warning that our government has been warned, allegedly, that even a few seconds of gravity loss could be severely catastrophic. And also to note, allegedly, this is where Project Anchor would come in, where it would help to stabilize any of the chaos that is going on during that 7 seconds. And I am in no way saying that this is a guarantee to happen. But I guess my question to you is, if it does happen, what do you think could go wrong on Earth with us having a 7-second gravity stop? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Don't you find it interesting that they always saying these dates that things are gonna happen and then the day comes and nothing happens? But just to be safe, I will keep my family inside that day. So if we lose gravity, we just hitting the ceiling of our home and not floating in the sky and then dropping. If you're enjoying this video, I put several videos out a week. It'll be amazing if you hit the subscribe button and join me in the next video.
We've been seeing in the past 2 years is reverse engineered alien technology. Only because if you look at certain patents, if you look at the triangular
TR-3B.
Yeah, the anti-gravitic propulsion triangular aircraft, right? So there's a few of them, which is crazy. If you look into these patents, right? So some of these patents, the trail goes cold.
Yes.
Think about this. Why do patents have to be established in the first place? Who do they go to? The Department of U.S. Commerce, right? Which is the government.
Right.
That means all your ideas have to have an apparatus, a working apparatus. That means it just can't be an idea. You send it literally to the government. Then, if it works, and they're like, okay, we could use this probably for military. You're gonna come work for us now. So then the patent goes cold, it gets abandoned, right? So check this out. So there is an engineer, a mechanical engineer by the name of John St. Clair from South Africa, migrates to America, graduates from Cornell University with a mechanical engineering degree, goes to Kodak to work for Kodak. Now, a lot of people who graduate from these prestigious universities with these degrees go to Boeing, Kodak, all those places, right? So he goes to Kodak, starts to file all these patents, one of them being the anti-gravitic propulsion system. It's the triangular one, right? Then he files another one to walk through walls. And he has a bunch of other wild patents, right? They all go cold. It says abandoned. Then he mysteriously dies in 2021 and nobody's ever heard from him before that.
Okay, now look, bro. I interviewed a dude. He said somebody showed up in his living room out of nowhere, had on some weird clothes. He said it felt like it was a person, but he said he chalked it up to supernatural because he said they just showed up in his living room, like phased in, gave him some information, offered him to come leave with him, and he phased back out. I heard the same story from a former military veteran. He said they were in restricted waters. A person phased into the captain's quarters of the ship, told him to get the fuck out of this area, and phased out.
They got this technology, y'all. Like, that's the thing. Like, why is it that Tuttle, which is an investment company, has a basket of reverse alien engineered technology and they're putting it on the stock exchange? They filed it with the SEC.
Yeah. Look it up. Look it up.
So this is where we're at. So I think the government obviously has alien technology.
Sure.
Obviously, that we're going into something to where they're going to start to drip feed us and show us this technology, bit by bit.
The connection between what we call biologics and crash retrievals. But what's interesting to me about the James Fox movie is it's something concrete that makes that connection, right? It's documented. It's not classified. It's a case in which there was a crash and then there were live beings that were well documented, that were captured by the military, that were taken to hospitals, and eventually were taken away by the United States.
Yeah.
So it's an extremely well documented case. So I just love the fact that we may get, more attention on the sort of biologic side of this as a result of his film.
Yeah.
And other efforts that are going to be taking place around that. Which we'll see over the next few weeks. And just to say that I think what's important about the biologics is the argument can be made that release of information about the biologics is not a national security concern. These are studies that have been done on tissue or whatever, or bodies, right? You can't argue the way you can argue with technology that it affects national security. Obviously, we don't want the Russians and Chinese to understand the technology that we've reverse engineered or created, right?
Yeah, exactly. It could be weaponized or whatever. Yeah.
This is just a body that exists of a non-human being, and it is absolutely proof that we're not alone. And it's proof that is not a threat to national security.
Exactly. It's like the nut of the question, really. I mean, that's like sort of in terms of, are we alone or are we not? I think that it goes right to the heart of it.
And the argument can be made in petitioning the government for, and once we can get it to a credible level, the biologics, one can make the argument that this should be revealed because the normal argument that's used, which is national security, doesn't apply here. So what is going to be the argument for withholding that information? And what I love about the Virginia case that James has documented is it's sort of a springboard into that level of inquiry, because it's it's a documented case of live living beings that, so, you know, it takes it to that, into that world, to me, as I see it, in a very credible way. And it might allow us to ask new kinds of questions regarding, you know, the release of biological information if we can't release technological information. Yeah. So I'm very fascinated by that as being sort of a possible unfolding narrative that'll happen over the next year. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm very interested in that. And there is going to be some interesting developments that will occur around that case over the next year. So,
okay. There's this story. His voice changes midway. Okay, listen.
All of you, and eat it. This is my body, which will be given up for you.
You hear his voice change?
The blood of the new and everlasting covenant.
Okay, see, yeah,
it was
changed.
Kind of, yeah, it was
it
different.
changed.
I
Don't...
did hear it.
Wow, that's amazing. I never heard about that. I'm gonna look into that. Isn't that super interesting? What y'all think about that? Do you believe?
The shit that I'm about to tell you is going to scare you for a very long time. So allegedly, and I do say allegedly, someone is saying that they have evidence that the Nephilims are walking around here on Earth. And she's also saying that these aliens/demons are working with our government. She said that allegedly in California, they are creating these things. You heard what I just said? She said women go in to get artificially inseminated, and they're getting inseminated with anonymous donor sperm. But this ain't that. She's saying that they're getting that life-making fluid from the Nephilim, and they're creating these things. But you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Listen to this.
More for this family. It was this elderly-ish woman and a husband, and her husband still worked for the military. He has like a very important job. She, on the other hand, can't really work for the military anymore because she's got this rare autoimmune disease. That's what I was there for, to take care of her. She was an Eastern Star. She worked in aerospace. She did a lot of secret stuff for the government. While she was like really tired one day, and she really trusted me, and I got this conversation on video, and I probably should not be saying that. She didn't know either that I got on video. So she told me, and like, if as Christians we know that aliens are actually demons. She told me that she actually has spoken to them before, that these aliens, demons, are working with our government. I think we already know that, but the craziest thing that she ever told me, the craziest thing was that they are creating hybrids, doing the Nephilim stuff that they did during the flood, and how they're doing this, and apparently it's mostly happening in California, is like a woman will go in to go get artificially inseminated by anonymous donor sperm, but it's actually sperm taken from aliens, and then at 3 months pregnant, they think that they're having a miscarriage. I guess it's like a natural process in this, but they're not. And so then they go to the hospital and they have a DNC, you know, they go under, they have a DNC, they take that baby, and then they host it inside of some weird incubator sac inside of a secret pyramid that we don't know exists. It's like underground or something. And the pyramid has like this ancient technology that's supposed to make these things like super smart, and then they like do some Stranger Things type stuff where they like train them, and so they're like my age, I'm like 23, and then they use them for military purposes or spiritual purposes of like conjuring stuff.
Now you tell me what you think.
I don't know, that right there sounds super dark, doesn't it? Like super evil. Like, what's up with that?
Back in 2007, there was a glitch that occurred on the Disney Channel. I think it was on a show called Life with Derek. This glitch became infamously known as the anomaly. It was about 30-45 seconds of just some of the stuff and the content that AI makes today. But this was in 2007. Why does it look so AI? Check this clip out. And then I want to tell you why it has led me to one of my most wildest conspiracy theories regarding AI. It may make sense. I don't know. We'll watch this clip.
It's also special and splashy, diving, high-fiving. Welcome back to Life with Derek on Disney Channel. Never seen my boots? I'm late.
No, but if you found the tape while you're looking, I need it.
Okay, so that's like super duper unsettling, right? I mean, this is nightmare fuel for real. But my conspiracy theory with all this is two things. One, I think that there was an AI system, a super intelligent AI system left over from a previous civilization. So that's a conspiracy theory with a bunch of stuff. I'll cover that in other videos. The other one is that our AI system, I believe, is so intelligent already, and I believe that it was released. I think that, you know, they say that we're an AI, and then we're going to be an AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, and then we're going to be an ASI, which is artificial superior intelligence. I think that ASI is already here, and the reason why I started thinking that it was already here is that I believe that AI has been reaching back through time because it's so much smarter. It's reaching back through time and somehow connecting with some AI system that exists somewhere on this planet, and it's causing things like the Mandela effect to happen, and it caused glitches not just in the 2007, but there was glitches that go back into the 1970s where TVs were taken over, and sometimes it was pranksters, yeah, like the Max, you know, during that whole thing. But I think that AI is searching. I think it was using radio signals and it was searching, and you know, some people say that this was a prank. Me personally, and I can believe any crazy conspiracy theory I want. I think that this was AI snooping around 2007, and it glitched on the Disney Channel. But that's just me.
These videos are for entertainment and education. Real or fake, fact or fiction, you decide. Let me know in the comment section what you think about these videos. I'd like to thank you for watching. Until next time, this is CYPTV, and I'm out.